Hello everyone, welcome to this very special session quite aptly named APIX Amplify. My name is Manish Diwan and we have an action-packed session with four of our esteemed community members, each one of them with a very interesting announcement to make. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the screen to our very first speaker from an organization that has transformed the way India and Indians pay. They are clocking 2 billion transactions a month on their systems, and we are delighted to have them on board APIX. It's my pleasure to invite Vishal Kanvati, Senior Vice President, Product and Innovation, NPCI in India. Over to you, Vishal.
Thanks, Manish. I think it's absolutely a privilege to be part of this session. I'm really excited. The way I think we will talk about is we just want to give a brief overview of what we are doing and the partnership that we have with APIX, and then talk about the hackathons that we are launching. I'm just trying to share my screen.
Vishal, we can't hear you.
Sorry, got on mute. So just to brief about NBCI, it's an organization that was set up by the Reserve Bank of India and few commercial banks in the country in 2008. It's a not-for-profit entity set up primarily with an objective to deepen the digital payments in the country. We are, as I said, we are not a not-for-profit entity, which means the intent is not to make profits and spread the infrastructure in the country on the digital payments. We serve about 200 banks in the country, more than 1 billion customers, retail customers and corporates, as well as we have recently started working with the fintechs in the country, after the UPI launch. So today we have 12 different payment networks or products, which I think I just want to touch upon two of the RuPay, which is our domestic card scheme, through which we have actually issued about 600 million cards in the country, 15 different types: debit, credit, prepaid, and international cards. This is I think the second largest network in the world. And the second product that I want to talk about is the unified payment interface. It's the fastest growing product. It's quite unique in the it allows any retail customer to use any payment app in the country and make any type of payments. We crossed about 2.1 billion transactions during the month of November, and in October we crossed about 2 billion. So first time we have crossed 2 billion this in the last 4 years journey. I think the growth has been tremendous, especially after the country has caught up with the digital payments after the COVID. We have seen a lot of new use cases and habits changing in the country, and people adopting RuPay and UPI to a large extent. One more thing that I want to highlight is that we have recently launched our international subsidiary, and the ambition here is to take our products global. So it will focus, NIPL will focus on taking our products into other countries and regions. And basically, whatever learnings we have had in the recent past, we want to spread to other countries and take these products. We are also focusing on building the remittance rails to and fro on UPI. As you know that we have partnered with APIX. APIX is the partnership where we want to take a series of hackathons and startup challenges across 2021. I think the primary objective of working with APIX is to take our products global, exploring new technologies, upcoming technologies, connecting with emerging tech startups and accelerate innovation and inclusion, financial inclusion. So starting in, I think this is the key announcement that we want to make, that starting in January, we are actually launching two hackathons. The first one is on the anti-money laundering and CFT, where we want to look at how the whole process can be streamlined, how the transaction monitoring and other solutions for AML, can be adopted by NPCI and, and all the products. The second hackathon that we'll be launching would be on the quick response. I think the intent here is that we have seen that the QR based payments are catching up, and they are the bedrock for the growth of UPI and digital transactions. So we want to actually look at what would be the security standards and other innovative products that we can look at from a QR, where we can actually streamline the QR implementation that we are utilizing in the country. So these are the two hackathons that we will be launching. Hopefully, the first of many in 2020. And I think with our partnership with APIX, I think we expect, which is a great platform for collaboration and co-innovation. We expect a lot of solutions and a lot of innovative solutions to come up with this. Focusing on cross-border, the open API architecture, and I think basically we are looking at forging a deep relationship with APIX to enable us to basically showcase and take our flagship products into the global regions, explore new technologies and connect with the new startups in this space. I think that's what I'm looking. That's what I have, Manish, at this point. But really excited. I think we are looking at this partnership with APIX and the new solutions and the new hackathons. I think will let us closely work with a lot of new fintechs and deeply penetrate into some of the emerging technologies in this space. And hopefully, the UPI and other payments, cost of 2 billion, we can increase that manifold. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you so much, Vishal and team NPCI. Really appreciate the trust in APIX for running these very, very important hackathons. We understand the criticality of these. And to all our fintech community members on this side who are listening in, this is an opportunity you definitely do not wish to miss. Up next, the newest member of the APIX community, a bank from Philippines with a forward-looking view on use of innovative technology and support for the fintech ecosystem in Philippines, and a person who can largely be credited for the bank's views. Lito, Executive Vice President and Chief Innovation and Inclusion Officer, RCBC Bank, Philippines. Over to you, Lito.
Thank you so much, Manish, and of course, good day to everyone. From growth to hypergrowth, so this is everyone's aspiration, and RCBC is poised to go that route, to experience rapid exponential progress in this digital realm. But this can be achieved with a well-defined digital roadmap, a digital-centric organization, and of course, a strategic collaboration. And today, RCBC is delighted to be one of the new collaborators of APIX Global Initiative. The very encouraging Philippine digital landscape allows us to position ourselves strategically. Against the COVID-19 backdrop, we have seen the growing consumers' digital adoption, the government's aggressive digital transformation push, the series of enabling laws and regulations passed and issued, such as the Open Finance or Open Banking Framework, digital bank licensing, the 3-year digital payments transformation roadmap, and various spending bills on virtual banking and fintech, among others. RCBC's collaboration agenda with APIX will fuel this aspiration in delivering speed and scale. Having 6 global and regional digital recognitions within the 9-month quarantine period, including being named as the Philippines' best digital bank by Asia Money, is just a testament to our firm resolve to bring digital to the next level. We have seen it, we have proven it, even reaching 4-digit exponential growth in our digital channels, both in volume and in value at the height of the pandemic. We thank Supnendu Mohanty, MAS Chief FinTech Officer, of course Manish of AFIN APIX Managing Director, and Lowell Campbell of World Bank Group, the Global Digital Finance Specialist, for bringing us here. Let this be an advance notice to Manish and team that RCBC will optimize its membership and fully utilize whatever you have in your digital arsenal and across the region. This marks a significant development as RCBC will now leverage on APIX network and resources to survive and thrive in an era of heightened co-opetition. To bring this about, I have identified 5 key imperatives. First, to democratize innovations through open APIs. Second, to hyper-automate and to scale business efficiencies. Third would be best-in-class cybersecurity towards cyber resiliency. Fourth would be more agile digital enterprise. And lastly, to leverage data for customer centricity and digital identity. And with that, I look forward to a fruitful and productive collaboration and partnership with AFIN and APIX. And thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thanks, Lito. Those are very important words, and we welcome you to APIX and Team RCBC on board APIX. I'm sure that our association will be of great value. Your vision of creating a tech-driven organization is truly inspiring, and I hope APIX can play a role and play its own part. Welcome again to APIX. Moving on, next up we have Koen Jonker, co-founder and executive chairman of Tyme, and Rachel Freeman, head of growth for Tyme. And besides their super cool technology company that they have, they also run a brilliant digital bank called Tyme Bank in South Africa, which has very recently clocked in their 2.5 millionth customer. Over to you, Koen and Rachel.
Hello, Manish. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. We're really excited to be sharing the stage with the other colleagues. What I will do is just give a little brief introduction to Tyme, who we are and what we do, and then I'll hand over to Rachel to announce our Hackathon winners for the hackathon that we've just completed. As you say, at Tyme, we're a digital banking business. We have our development and engineering team in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And our first big deployment, our flagship deployment, is Tyme Bank in South Africa. We launched it February last year, and as you say, we've just reached 2.5 million customers, about which we're really excited. We've got in South Africa, of the 2.5 million customers, 55% are active on a 30-day rolling basis. We've reached the number 2 place from a Net Promoter Score in the country. A Net Promoter Score of 53 this month, but importantly, we've got the best Net Promoter Score in the country for women. So we're really excited about how popular our platform is becoming with the customer segments that are very close to our heart. And we focus very much on underserved consumers and on small and micro business. What is probably unique about our model, Manish, and you sort of mentioned our cool technology, is that we're a digital bank with a very particular emphasis on the physical retail environment. We think of ourselves as a high-touch, high-tech business where we integrate into retail stores for the purposes of customer onboarding and customer servicing. Our customers can get a bank account in less than 5 minutes at any one of the kiosks that we have in retail environments. And 85% of our 2.5 million customers have come to us through those kiosks. And so we think there's a lot of scope for this, let's call it slightly hybrid approach to digital banking in Southeast Asia. And so the next market we have our eye on is the Philippines. We're very excited about that market. Lito, we hopefully will see you there in the market soon. And we really think that market has great potential. So the new banking license regime there for us is very exciting. And watch this space for some more announcements on that. I think the other news that I'd like to share before I hand over to Rachel is that we are moving our head office to Singapore. We're very excited about Singapore as our new home, and we'll be hopefully seeing all of you in person in Singapore very soon as we can travel again. Before I hand over then to Rachel, just a very big thank you to the Singapore Monetary Authority for their support and their welcoming attitude towards us as a new player in the Southeast Asia market. A big thank you to APIX and to APIX and to the team there, and also particularly on the hackathon, a big thank you to AWS and to Mambu, who helped us with the environment, hosting it and so on, and has played a big role in making this successful for us. Thank you, Manish. Over to you, Rachel.
Oh, thank you. And we had a great experience working on the hackathon with the APIX platform. We started off and we had 25 applications for our questions. We posed very different types of questions that were very specific, and we need these firms to work with us in our banks in the Philippines, and then when we go to Malaysia and to Vietnam. So what we wanted to do was find exact replicas of what we were doing in South Africa and work with companies in ASEAN so that we had more of an ASEAN flavor for our tech stack, which has been supporting our bank in South Africa. So now we're going to talk about the winners. We had 25 applications. We then shortlisted 8 and now have 3 winners that we're going to be announcing. On our site and on the APIX Hackathon, we had spoke about specific numbers in terms of contracts. So the next stage for our 3 winners will be in to start working with us to launch our first bank in the Philippines and then move forward. And we look forward to talking to them about actually becoming partners for that bank. So our first challenge was to enable integrations for transactions to till point systems in wide use in Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines, using our code-based transaction system APIs and associated reconciliation and settlement processes. This is very specific to how we work with till points, which is one of our core success points in South Africa. And I'm very happy to announce that Modafin, which is an omnipresence digital banking fintech out of India, is the winner. And I'd like to congratulate Roy Basu and the whole Modafin team with winning this, and we look forward to speaking with you next week. The second challenge that we put forward was to provide a system for the creation and validation of onboarding KYC, something the customer knows questions for Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines using our Tyme kiosk. So we have our own customer presentation and processes and APIs, and we wanted to hook in those exact questions. And we spoke with a number of firms on this. This was a very competitive group. And I'm very happy to announce that a Singapore company has won this. It is Handshakes, which is a Singapore data tech company. And I'm very happy to congratulate Shannon Wan and the whole Handshakes team. And the third challenge, which is about regulatory reporting, which is providing a system for conversion of system data into the standard regulatory report formats required for submission to Bank Negara, Malaysia, BSP in Philippines, and in Central State Bank of Vietnam, using our existing reporting APIs. We have a company that we work with in South Africa that now serves 40 financial institutions in South Africa to do the same. So we see that there's a great opportunity to bring a company in to do this and then to help them build out their network across starting in the Philippines. I'm very happy to report that we are bringing in for this one a UK-based RegTech company, which is called FinReg-E. And I'd like to congratulate Rahimi Gupta and the FinReg-E team out of London. Thank you. And we really look forward to meeting up with our 3 winners and speaking more about how we can build them into our tech stack and take them forward with our bank in the Philippines and across ASEAN. And I also look forward to seeing everybody in Singapore when we get to come and actually open our headquarters, and we look forward to inviting everybody to our office opening too.
Thank you, Rachel. Manish, back to you.
Thanks, Koen. Thanks, Rachel, and congratulations to Modafin, Handshakes, and FinReg-E. Rachel and Koen have been more like a Santa bearer of good news. Thanks, Koen, for your continued support. We are happy to have Tyme as one of our earliest supporters, and we look forward to grow our association from strength to strength. And to our final speaker now, it's an organization which has a mission to support communities and multiple countries across the globe, and it's our pleasure to have them on board again. United Nations Capital Development Fund, more popularly known as UNCDF. And we have with us Jaspreet Singh, Global Lead Financial Health and Innovation, UNCDF. Over to you, Jaspreet.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you for the introduction, and hello, everyone. It's great to meet all of you. And I think, as Manish mentioned, I represent UN Capital Development Fund. It's a UN agency which is primarily focused on achieving SDG goals by unlocking public and private capital. And one of the key pillars of our work has been on inclusive finance, or financial inclusion, it's kind of popularly known as, where we see digital financing and digital to be a key enabler to drive an inclusive and resilient digital economy over years now. So one thing that UNCDF has been working in developing markets at a country level was that how do we achieve SDG which can be enabled by financial inclusion and digital in combination. And one key aspect that we realized was that finance is getting more and more embedded in tech in different forms and shapes and in different business models. And it's not only about fintechs, it's not only about the banks that were primarily the intermediary servicing the clients at large. And for us, the major focus is largely remains the low and moderate income clients. So how do we kind of change or achieve the sustainable development goals with the idea of digital finance and digital at large? And that's where we have been kind of moving with that. We need to start focusing on different use cases which are more sectoral and segment focused. And innovation challenges has been one process that we have been following at the country level to facilitate both incubation of innovations, new innovations, but also acceleration of those which already exist and would like to scale to a new segment base. And as a UN agency, we see our role more of a facilitator, bringing these innovations together, connecting them to the right enablers to scale and get into the market, and bring in the regulators and others to come in and support them early on, so that the journey becomes much more easier in a way. And we have a very focused approach towards addressing specific problems of the market when it comes to the low and moderate income segment in at large. And as part of that process, we have been engaging with APIX. We worked with them last year on hosting a financial health challenge, which brought together companies across the world, of which three of them were selected to participate in the accelerator organized by MAS this year. And those three companies are also being supported by UNCDF on commercializing their deployment in a new market where UNCDF is operating on the ground. So that was our relationship and journey with APIX. Next year, while there will be multiple programs that we'll be kind of working towards, but one program I wanted to kind of specifically speak about, the cohort on agri-tech, because agriculture is a big area where a lot of smallholder farmers across Asia and Africa are involved, and we see that a lot of agri-tech technologies are shaping up across the world, and we see finance to be a big integral part of it. But there are markets in the world that where innovations is still at the very, very early stage, and those markets can learn from other markets where the development infrastructure has been there, or the innovations have kind of scaled or have proven themselves. And the idea with this next challenge that we are cohort and we intend to announce with this platform is around building this cross-border partnerships, which will kind of focus on bringing companies from one market in Asia to the others in Africa, and facilitate them to go and commercialize their deployment. And just to kind of give you a case in point, where Indian startups working in the agri-tech space with embedded finance can specifically go and address problems in a place like, say, Uganda. And in that process, both diversify into a new geography. At the same time, provided a facilitation arrangement by UNCDF, which will allow them to both commercialize their deployment in partnerships locally in a market like Uganda, and at the same time, build a bridge towards cross-sharing of learnings and exchanges in a way. So these are three problem statements, which are a little more detailed on and specific to every country that we are focusing on under this particular cohort. There are selections from 6 markets, where we have set out specific corridors between India, Nepal, Malaysia, Uganda, Zambia, and Malawi, where we will be running this initiative. And the idea would be to, create a cross-country exchange within these markets by bringing the players and the innovators together, by, providing them the platform to commercialize and pilot test their solution into a new geography, and ensuring that the knowledge sharing is made more portable, and they can learn from each other's experience, and in the process obviously bring in investments to help them scale and put to test in a new geography their innovations. So I'll stop at that, Manish, and thank you so much for the opportunity for letting us engage on your platform.
Well, thanks, Jaspreet. UNCDF is a returning user of the APIX Ecosystem, and it's what we strive for. It's an honor to be able to play a part in your global strategy, and also, testing our platform as well with a completely new domain that you plan to. Thank you all for the opportunities that you are creating for this young and dynamic and ever-growing APIX community. As APIX, it's our pleasure to host your financial institutions and your hackathons on our platform, and we couldn't be more excited to what future holds for us, all of us together. And to all those who are interested to know more about these, keep watching for detailed announcements in due course. That would be me signing off on this Oxygen by APIX session. Thank you everyone for joining today. Thank you so much.